Well, it's no secret that we're all kind of fighting the battle of the bulge these days, trying to stay fit, keeping our bodies in some kind of shape. And, fortunately, we've got a pretty good program that just came out that was launched by the Paralyzed Veterans of America. It's an online fitness and wellness program. And I got a couple of people here to talk with me who are both very qualified. Al Kovach, editor in chief of Sports and Spokes magazine, Fabio Villarroel, who's the senior director of sports and recreations at PVA. Welcome, guys, and I want to jump right in. So we've been working really hard to try and get people to recognize that health, fitness, mental health, everything all working together is a positive thing. And I want to go to you first, Fabio. How was the program developed? What was it that spawned it, and how much work was it to launch it?
Sure. It's the newest program of PBA's Adaptive Sports and Recreation portfolio. And one of the reasons we launched a strictly online program, one, it makes it easy for individuals to access from the comfort of their own home. Now, based on research, when we look at in-person programs, we know that there are specific barriers that are in place that oftentimes keep people from enjoying and participating in such activities. You talk about transportation or just financial costs to engage in those activities, or simply having the time to participate. So, an online program diminishes those barriers by, again, allowing the individual to actively engage at their own comfort. There's no cost associated for PBA members and their caregivers. And for the most part, it's flexible enough. We offer the program 5 times a week for an individual to take 30 minutes out of their schedule to participate.
So the whole genesis of the program, was it a hard sell yeah, I have to assume that you were integral in the launching of this program. So as you sat down to launch this program, what was your sell? I mean, was it just I can see the program as I've seen it, it encompasses a lot of things, meditation, stress management, mental health, and even, Fabio, the opportunity for some of these people who spend a lot of time indoors alone, socialization as well.
Mhm.
So, it must have been a relatively easy sell.
I mean, nothing is ever easy, but when it comes to such an idea, I think that the main concept here is making sure you create programs that incentivize participation, right? So we want to create as many programs to get people out and active, and this seemed to be, when you look at the different platforms, and a way to um, take that and leverage, our ability to access individuals in their own settings. So it was widening that opportunity for individuals wanting to stay active and healthy.
Hey, I'm gonna bring Al Kovach in, PVA Senior Director of Sports and Spokes magazine. Al, you and I, we did the Paralympics together in '96. You were an NCAA swimmer. When there's a lot of motivation in front of you to succeed, it's easy to get out there and train because, well, you just simply don't want to fail. But now here we are in these later middle years of life. Did I put that gently enough?
Just say
And
old.
and the motivation is a little bit more difficult. Um, how is it trying to stay fit as a more pedestrian person as opposed to an elite athlete?
It really is a challenge when you're just trying to stay in shape. There's no team of guys that are their motivation is to just stay in shape. They're either competitive or you're on your own. And I used to go to the VA hospital regularly to the gym where they do the PT at the spinal cord injury centers. And eventually, it was great because a lot of it wasn't so much about working out, it was about socializing, and you had some of the old guys like me, talking to the new guys, and they could see where we had gone in our lives and how independent we were, etcetera, but, eventually, the, VA thought that it was getting a little bit too unsafe having too many of these guys hanging out in the gym, so, and then COVID happened, and so we were all kinda pushed back to our houses, and there's really no wheelchair accessible gym, so we're stuck with what we have at home. to work out. And the VA has been very supportive, at least in San Diego, about providing equipment at home. So I have an SCI Fit at home. It's kind of like an ergometer for
Mhm.
a paraplegic or quadriplegic, and I use that not enough, but it helps me get the blood going. But then I separated my shoulder, and having to nurse that back, and it is really a challenge, especially when you don't have a bunch of people to work out with. You're just staring at a wall or a TV while you work out. And it's not fun at all. But you do what you got to do to stay in shape. So I was really curious about this program, and we actually put it in our magazine a couple of months ago, and I got some really good feedback from those who were using the program. So I think Fabio and I both got the same emails about how pleased some of these guys are that are using the program. So I'm really glad, Bob, that you saw it as well when you were reading the magazine on your way home from somewhere. I believe you're on a flight somewhere, but um,
Always.
really, it's successful. We're getting a lot of good feedback for it, and I should probably participate more.
So Fabio, going back to the program, you launched in January
Mhm.
of 26, and you're getting between 70 and 80 people coming into these sessions on a monthly basis. Obviously, your hope is the more the better, because ultimately the goal is to try and keep our fellow veterans fit.
Yeah, that's correct. One of it's a goal of ours to have as many people participate. But also understanding that the importance of why we're doing it, right? So we joke around aging, but it's a critical component to when we think about staying active and fit, and why it's important to 30 minutes a day. CDC guidelines say 150 minutes a week. So it's an easy way for us to program something into someone's personal schedule for them to be able to stay active and have the positive impact of what comes along with exercise and fitness.
Well, I think we all agree, and I think you would too, Al, is that ultimately exercise at this point equals independence. If you get to a point where you're not exercising enough, you start looking at, the severity of sores on your body or diabetes or one of a number of other things. But inclusive in that is the luxuries and the fun of life, getting on and off an airplane, taking a vacation with your wife and your family, all the things that have to be done within the nature of taking care of our bodies. So fitness ultimately has now become making life better and making ourselves healthier.
Yeah, Bob, and all of us have served in the military, all three of us, and so we all know about preventative maintenance and how important it is. And really, this exercise-based therapy that PBA is always promoting is basically preventative maintenance for the body.
Yeah, it certainly is, and speaking to that maintenance, I noticed that, I know I mentioned this before, but it's really great. It's the way the program is designed and the way it's described is that it's adaptive exercise combined with holistic wellness for comprehensive approach to enhancement of quality of life. So, Fabio, when you were talking in boardrooms and trying to get people convinced, this must have been a pretty big facet to let people know that this was going to be a multidimensional, helpful wellness program.
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. So, we want to make sure we create a program that's treating the whole person, right? Fitness is one part, the physical part of it, but also taking care of your mental health, because that's extremely important when it comes to an individual that may be going through isolation and that may be going through certain things in life at that point. So, providing an opportunity for them to have an outlet is essential in these types of programs.
When participants come on for the first time, obviously, maybe they're a little bit nervous. Oh, what am I going to expect? What's expected of me? How hard can I go? Am I going to embarrass myself? What can they expect? They log on for the first time. What's the environment going to be like? I mean, obviously, it's not. We're not going to have a drill sergeant in our face. But is it pretty comforting? Is it welcoming?
Yeah, 100%. So it's based on building community, right? And then the cohesion and being able to have a safe space for people to come into and feel comfortable, right? Because we have people with different backgrounds, people that may be just getting started in their exercise routines, and individuals that may be wanting to add to their exercise. So we want to make sure not only do they have that environment, but that the instructors understand how to receive an individual that may be hesitant at first. So we have a group of professionals that lead these courses and allow for that to take place.
Yeah, I noticed, Fabio, it's a group that you work with called Warrior Strong that's helped to develop this program. So, is that also where you find your trainers? And are there a number of different trainers or people who come on facilitate these sessions?
Yeah, so it's in partnership with Warrior Strong. They offer the trainers for the program. One of the unique things that we're looking into is to create pathways for individuals with disabilities to become a trainer down the line. And what we'd like to incorporate more into the programs is to have individuals in a wheelchair leading some of these courses. So that's something that we're looking to add on to as we continue. But all these individuals that we work with now are all professionally certified individuals in fitness.
When they come on, are they is there I know that the sessions are free. I mean, just they're there to help the veteran, but is there any equipment that they need going in, the resistance bands or anything that's requested that they bring to the table to gain movement and health strength?
No, that's not a requirement. Again, we wanna make it so that, we're not creating those barriers. However, what I can say, and I'm sort of letting out some things for the future, starting in our new fiscal year in July is we're gonna be, providing some workout packages, so where we may have some adaptive equipment for individuals that wanna have a little more of a challenge, and we will be able to provide those to the participants. So, it's come as you are, and we'll adapt to you and get you going and meet you where you're at.
Al is the editor of a magazine that's devoted to the health of people with SCI, MS, ALS. This program must have immediately looked like it was going to be a direct benefit to our community.
Oh, we knew it was gonna be successful, we really did, and we really look forward to actually publishing it. It's one of those fun stories that we, come up across every now and I actually it's made me want to, scour the internet and look for other similar programs like that maybe our readers can benefit from.
Hey, Fabio and Al, any last words? Because I think we've really summed this up pretty well. I mean, the program sounds like it's 100%. It's been a hit and a success.
Sure. For anyone listening, watching, if you're on the fence, come check us out. You can go to pva.org and find us on there. It's a fairly simple process to sign up. We've made it easy for everyone. You get text messages so you don't forget that you signed up for the classes. So yeah, just looking forward to meeting new folks on these classes.
And Al, you going to get on that SciFit this afternoon?
I'm in the office in Phoenix, so,
Well, just drop down and give me 20. Hey guys, thanks very much. I think the program looks like it's definitely a winner. Just launched in January, PVA online fitness and wellness program. I encourage everybody to go take a look at it because it looks like a really, really great avenue to help stay well and fit. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bob.